Welcome to the Steve Setka Show, your uncensored champion. I'm your host, Steve Setka, and I'm diving deep into the things that matter most to me: sport, freight, and faith. On this show, we're not afraid to go beyond the surface. We get real, share bold opinions, and hit you where it may be uncomfortable. These are the topics I'm passionate about, and I bet they'll spark something in you too. So buckle up for quick, high-impact episodes that'll shake you up. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Steve Setka Show. We're on episode, 44 now? Incredible. Interesting time in my life here. New baby, lots going on. Business is good, 2026, but not all excellent all the time. Some challenges, some things to go back and forth on. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today's episode, we're going to be a little bit differently. No freight, no business tactics, no sports breakdowns, just raw, honest reflection about my life and fatherhood and what's going on these days. Because over the last little while, I had to confront something uncomfortable about myself. I realized I wasn't doing this podcast purely because I loved it or because I was providing value to other people. I was doing it, at least in part, for external validation. And that realization hit harder than I had expected. The realization really started when I started the show. I told myself it was about impact, about helping people, about building something meaningful. And all of that is still true. But underneath that, there was another layer. I wanted people to like me, to respect me, to see me, to tell me, hey, Steve, good job. You're doing something important and you're impacting people's lives, which I think there is some truth to. And when I slowed down enough to be honest with myself, I realized something a little deeper. This podcast started uncovering old stuff, unprocessed emotions, wounds I thought I had already dealt with, stuff I'd been busy enough to avoid. So I did what I always do in business. I ran a root cause analysis, but on myself. Why do the podcast? Because I want to help people. Okay, why do I want to help people? Because I want to feel useful. Why do I need to feel useful? Because I want to feel valued. Why do I need to feel valued? Because somewhere along the line, I stopped valuing myself. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't about the mic. It wasn't about the audience. It wasn't even about content. It was about identity. The hard truth came not long after. Here's the real uncomfortable part. I don't fully know what I like or what I want to do yet in regards to my online presence. And I'm still figuring out who I really am. Not the role I play, not the brand, not the performance version of myself, the real me. And when you don't know yourself, external validation becomes addictive because you start letting the world tell you who you are. Likes, downloads, messages, compliments, they start acting like a mirror, but it's a distorted one. And this was the distorted mirror that was looking back at me. External validation is dangerous because it feels good, but it's unstable. The moment the numbers drop, you feel worse. The moment the praise slows down, you question everything. The moment you're not seen, you feel invisible again. I should be replacing the word you and your with me or I, because that's the way that I have been feeling. And that's not freedom. That's emotional debt. I was borrowing confidence from other people instead of building it internally. And eventually the interest comes due. Burnout, resentment, confusion, loss of direction, which is exactly what I started to feel. So here's where I'm at. I'm not quitting the podcast, but I'm stepping back, a short hiatus, not because I'm tired of it, but because I want to come back to it from the right place, not to be liked, seen, or validated, but because I actually have something true to say, because my voice is grounded, because my identity is solid, because I'm speaking from conviction, not compensation. And maybe this episode isn't even about me. Maybe it's about you. Maybe you're building something right now, a business, brand, career, relationship, family, life, baby, whatever it might be. And deep down, you're doing it for approval. I was doing it for approval and external validation. And I call it the next time happy syndrome. Oh, once I get to this point, next time I will be happy. And that never seems to work. Is it from your parents, from your partner, or from strangers on the internet? And the question I'll leave you with is this. If nobody clapped, noticed, or validated you, would you still do it? Because that's the difference between purpose and performance. And I'm choosing to rebuild with purpose. I'll be back just with a clearer voice, a more honest reason for using it, more energy to talk about freight, faith, fatherhood, a voice that is clearer than ever, more specific and more purposeful, that brings me to the full light of where I'm supposed to be with my life. For now, this is the Steve Setka Show, tuning out for a short period of time. I'll be back, and I'll look forward to chatting with you then. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you found value in what we shared and that you'll take it with you to positively impact the world around you. If so, we'd love for you to take a moment to rate, review, and share the show, because we're on a mission to grow and reach more hearts. Prayers, gratitude, and love. Until next time.